What's up? I'm in my Jeep again because it's windy. And there wasn't really a whole lot to say about today, so I'll try to keep it short since there's really nothing good to look at here, but just to let people know what's going on if they decide to go there, what a day-to-day journal type thing is here. Started out on PTI again, which I think I'm getting a little bit better at knowing what the hell some of that stuff is. I'm not mechanical at all. I don't work on my own car or anything, so I don't know what some of these brakes and stuff are, and I just don't know what these little things are in there, so it's going to be hard for me to do a lot of that on the outside part of it. So you have to go to each little piece and you have to say that it's mounted correctly, it's not broken, it's the right color, it's operating properly. You have to say that for each of those things, and I don't know what a lot of them are, what they're called, so that's going to be hard for me. After that, we went over to the alley docking, which is the hardest maneuver to do out there, and I did okay on it with him assisting me. I didn't have too much of a problem doing it. I'm really bad at backing up. I don't back my car in places. I thought about backing in here just to practice a little bit, which I probably should start doing anywhere I park. If you're going to go ever do this, you need to start backing your car up in parking spots. I've always thought people that did that are kind of douchey, that there's a car beside me that's that way. Almost every car over here is that way right now, but it is definitely good practice. Most of the people that go there do that. They back in. And I've always just pulled in, get parked, and then I back out. I've always done it that way, so it's definitely good practice to be doing that if you want to do this. But I got in there pretty good. Once I got in there, I did alright. I guess I was in there without breaching the back wall, and then I tried to straighten up because I want that shit to be perfectly straight in there. I don't want to mess around, and I guess I backed up too far the second time, so I wouldn't have failed it. I would have passed, but I had him helping me, so I wouldn't have been able to do it myself. So I only got one shot at it. A lot of the guys in our class got 2 shots at it, but that's all the maneuvers. There's the straight back and forth, the offset, which is a straight forward, and then you back up into the spot beside it, and then you just go straight forward and back up back into the first spot. Then there's the driver's side and the blind side parallels, and then there's the alley dock. So now they've told us basically once we're out there doing those, now just we're going to go to whichever one and start practicing. We don't have to stay in a little group to learn the maneuver anymore. So that should be good, because a lot of people today, especially, it was just our little group, and there's one other dude out there. So it would have been nice to go out there and practice on some of those other trucks today, because almost everybody was gone testing, and a lot of them failed apparently. It sounds like on stupid stuff. They always tell you when you go to test, they give you 2 free get outs to look and see where you're at on all of the maneuvers except for the straight back. You just get to do it once. And then you get 2 free pull-ups before they start counting as points, and that's for all of the maneuvers together. And then if you get more than 12 points, you fail altogether. So you get the 2 free pull-ups, and then all those, you pretty much get 14 points is what they'll tell you. And if you breach an area, it's 2 points, I think. If you go out of the little cone area, like it would be pretty much they're faking a wall there, or like a side of a truck or something like that. If you go through the cone line, it's a point or 2 points. And then if you pull up, it's a point or 2 points. I think it's 1 point if you pull forward. So every time you pull forward, it's a point. So if you think you're going to hit the cone line, it's better just to pull forward, because you're only going to get 1 point instead of 3. Because if you breach it, you get 2 points and you have to pull up anyway. So it's 3 points if you mess up. So they always tell you to get out and check. And I guess one of the girls today didn't get out and check, and her tires were poking out of the little barrier. And she said she was done, and they failed her for that. Because once you're tell them you're done. If anything's sticking out and you didn't check and see, then you fail. I think on a lot of the other ones it was just kind of like stalling. Like when I stalled it in front of the school yesterday, that probably would not have been a fail because I wasn't blocking traffic when I stalled. If you stall it and you're blocking traffic, they say that's an instant fail. So I probably would have passed yesterday, but if I was taking the test and they were grading me anyway. But I did okay backing it up. After lunch, I went and talked to the finance lady and made sure she gave me all the applications. I kind of want to. I know I said that I didn't really like the flatbeds, but after looking into it a little bit and thinking about it, I might not mind the flatbeds too much. So I wanted to make sure I get that one. She's asked me if I wanted to team drive, and I was like, not really. And I guess Covenant and US Express are the two that they require team driving or something. I think Covenant needs a hazmat to get the good pay anyway, but so I'm just going to do TMC Werner and Stevenson, which is a refrigerated company, I guess. I'm going to go home here in a minute and finish filling out the applications for those guys, see if I can get some pre-hires, but guess I'm not keeping this one short, but I did get some information, I guess, I forgot about, so I was just going to tell you how the day went. But after lunch, we went out on our drive, and I did my pre-trip brake test, which is when you get in there and do it. I did it without looking at the sheet. The only thing I forgot was to honk my horn, which they have been telling us not to do usually because we go to the truck stops and they don't want you to wake the drivers up, which when you're pumping the brakes and hitting all your stuff, you're going to wake them up with that anyway. But we went to a different spot with this guy, and it ended up being to where we did the whole thing. All of us had time to do it. We all got some pretty good driving in, so that was good. My only real mistakes, I think, that he told me when I was done was I went through one of the turns in 6th gear instead of 5th on the 10-speed, or it would have been the 4th gear on the 9-speed, I guess. And then I kept forgetting to turn my damn blinker off, because it doesn't automatically turn off in a truck like it does in your car. Once you turn over, you got to turn it off yourself every time. So, and I almost stalled it at a stop, but I caught it and fixed it. I had the switch, and the same thing I did the other day. I had the switch down or up when I put it down into 3rd gear to try to go away, which is really 8th gear, and it would have just stalled. But I caught it and it didn't die, so that would have been pretty good. And then he had me get on the damn expressway for a minute to go back. I was like, no, dude, I don't want to do this yet. But it was just to get on and then drive along the side there on the same lane and get off the next little exit there by the airport. So that wasn't too bad. But I think I'm going to go get some tacos from Taco Bell real quick. Go fill out my applications and try to go to sleep earlier tonight instead of staying up and watching TV until 11 o'clock. Because I was nodding off a little bit earlier today. But we'll see you later.